What is up, Book Nerds NFL coach tier list? One thing to note is that there will be a new tier instead of the D tier for all the coaches who have no head coaching experience. Granted, not all of our new head coaches for this cycle do qualify because some of them were head coaches in the past. Let's start out with what's his name? I'm forgetting. Kyle Shanahan. I'll put him in A tier. I put him in S in previous years, but this year is absolutely atrocious. He's had a lot of success with San Fran, but he's also not been able to win a Super Bowl. He wasn't even able to win a Super Bowl back when he was OC in Atlanta, which is starting to look concerning. Next up, the Ravens. Our first hardball, John. I'm going to put him in A tier. He's also struggled with the Ravens as of late to win a Super Bowl. He does have a Super Bowl under his belt, but he has been one of the Chiefs' punching bags as of late. Sean Payton has a ring with the Saints, which will land him in A tier. He was able to turn this Broncos team into a playoff contender, considering how horrible they were after the Russell Wilson trade. That actually does benefit them. So Vrabel, he will be put in. Where to put him? I'll put him in C tier. He made it to an AFC Championship game back with the Titans, but he also got fired, which I think he got unjustly fired, but it's also, I can see why, but I can only put him in C tier unless he's able to make some big success happen with this Patriots team. See, I think Canales? F tier. Basically, it's like, none of these people I especially want to put into F tier, but some of these people I just have to. I actually made a mistake. I meant to put Harbaugh in S tier. My bad. From here, let's see. Canales F tier, basically just because this Panthers team is just nothing special. But it's not his fault. This team was atrocious on most ends. Todd Dowell movements, which has been a running joke. I'll put him in C tier. He's had some success with the Bucs. They've been consistently good under his ring. There just haven't been anything special since Bruce Arians left. Saints. I think you're all in the new category because y'all hired Kellen Moore, which kind of uninspiring hire, but I get it. He was, I think, the second best OC off the market. You can take your head coach. Let's see next up, Raheem Morris. This one, another sorry for F tier. It's like, I have to put someone here in this 8 and 9 team. It's like, this team could have been so much more. There are so many higher expectations going into the season that just 8 and 9. I didn't have much higher expectations, but most people did. Most people thought with that type of talent, with that offense, he could do more. Next up, Vikings. This is an A tier for KOC, Kevin O'Connell. He made Sam Darnold into a competent quarterback. Sam Darnold, the IC ghost guy, was a competent quarterback for most of this season. He's a quarterback whisperer. I'm not going to even lie. You quarterback whisperer. Next up. I'll put Harbaugh in B tier. The only thing keeping him out of A tier is he was not able to win. He doesn't have a ring. And this team could not win a playoff game. Which, granted, is also against Minnesota. But the fact that their implosion wasn't as great, granted, the Chargers are just cursed. And that they already had a competent quarterback going into the season with Justin Herbert, so that does deduct points that there's less that he can take credit for. See, Bills. Part of me wants to so badly put you in S tier, but I can only put you in A tier because you have not made it to a Super Bowl. You made it to AFC Championships of plenty. Josh Allen's been excellent. But you can't get over that hump. That is the Kansas City Chiefs. That is definitely hurting you. Steelers. As much as I love Tomlin, I have to put him in B tier because he hasn't had a serious championship run in over a decade. But he has turned basically water into wine, as in he's turned many Steelers teams that should have gotten like 3 wins and got them 9 wins. Every year, it's the same thing. You know what you're getting going into a season. You're getting 9 to 8 wins. You might make the playoffs, but you're getting booted in the first round. You know what you're getting as a Steelers fan. Which, so how long can you sit in mediocrity? See, Commanders. I'll put him in B tier for now because I wasn't the biggest fan of him when he was at Atlanta. for Dan Quinn, but I love what he's done in Washington. I just need to see another season of it before I can put him any higher. But if he made it to a Super Bowl, I think that could be an S tier. Raiders. Pete Carroll, the Super Bowl, but also the Seahawks were nothing special like the last 5 years of his reign, so I have to put it in B tier for now. Plus, I don't think he'll be able to do all that much with that Raiders squad. Just doesn't scream anything. D'Amico Ryans. I think D'Amico is a B tier. I think he might have been like A tier coming out of last season, but this year he did kind of cool down a bit in my rankings. Mike McDaniel. No, that's the Dolphins. It was Mike something. I forget. Seahawks are the one team I always forget exists because I always say the definition of mid. So I'll take USH C tier. Packers. Throw y'all B tier. Thor proved himself after Aaron Rodgers left, and they were pretty good but it's also that team on paper was so good on paper. Like they were top 5 in both offense and defense on paper, which is crazy to think about. And they went 10-7 and won the 17 game. Zach something. I gotta put him in. Put him in C tier because part of me thinks that his Super Bowl appearance helps him, but it's also what has he done since, and he's being carried by an excellent offense. But you're still not able to make a playoff team happen with that. Giants. I gotta put y'all in C tier works for me right now because I love what our coaches did in the first season, but it's also that season is 2 seasons ago. So I need to see more, and that season is looking farther and farther away the more we look in the rear view. Let's just get 2 S tiers out the way. Nick Sirianni, I thought he could have been F tier. He could have been S tier going into this season because I didn't know if it was going to be like 2 years ago where they made it to the Super Bowl, or it was going to be that year that they completely flamed out. If he started weak, he could have easily gotten fired going into the season, but he's going to win a Super Bowl, which buys him some leverage. Plus, he's won a Super Bowl in the Patrick Mahomes era, which is starting to become more and more of something to brag about. So, S tier for that. Cheers, Andy Reid. Top 3 coach of all time. Let's see, Sean McVay, S tier, consistently good, and has scoring in the Patrick Mahomes era. Dolphins, a coach which is good, just not anything more, nothing less, mid, C tier. Next up, this Titans team is absolutely atrocious, needs a good year for him not to get fired. And then the Colts, curse like always, they could have went to the playoffs, but imploded like always. And Cardinals, honestly, I don't even know what y'all did. I gotta put someone in F tier, and y'all just nothing special compared to all these great coaches. Like, either anybody in F tier, I think Hoover has the hottest seat going into the season, since I think the Colts and Cardinals could possibly get fired if something bad happens, if nothing good comes out of this season. I think anybody here, especially since Irsay and the Panthers head coach are both very impatient. I think Schottenheimer could be a one and done. I don't really see any other one and dones here. Anybody else who I see possibly getting fired? Giants, if they're not able to do anything this season. Mike McDaniel, if the Dolphins completely implode. And probably even Kevin Stefanski if the Browns implode, which I do see happening, but I don't know if they'll cut him or not coming out of that. Other than that, I think everybody B tier and above are pretty safe. So like and subscribe to the bell notification to notify when I upload next. I'll see you in the next one. Please subscribe. I need money. There will be a new tier instead of the D tier for all the coaches who have no head coaching experience. Granted, not all of our new head coaches for this cycle do qualify because some of them were head coaches in the past. Let's start out with what's what's his name? I'm forgetting. Kyle Shanahan. I'll put him in A tier. I put him in S in previous years, but this year is absolutely atrocious. He's had a lot of success with San Fran, but he's also not been able to win a Super Bowl. He wasn't even able to win a Super Bowl back when he was OC in Atlanta, which is starting to look concerning. Next up, the Ravens. Our first hardball, John. I'm going to put him in A tier. He's also struggled with the Ravens as of late